In this video, we'll show you how to create an e-commerce website for 2018. In fact, we'll create this exact website here, and I'll show you how to customize it to suit your business or brand. You can view the live demo of the site we'll create at oaklyn.go/neto/demo. There's a direct link in the description below. When thinking about putting together an e-commerce store, the two platforms you should be considering are WordPress or Shopify. We've written an article and put together a video that compares the two, that you can access on the Oaklyn site. In this video, we'll show you step-by-step how to create an e-commerce website using WordPress. So if you're keen to create your own e-commerce site, but unsure of where to start and want to do it the right way, then you're in the right place. In this WordPress WooCommerce tutorial, you'll learn the fundamentals that will allow you to create the exact type of online store you want and avoid the common mistakes beginners make. You'll also get access to discounts on hosting and WordPress themes. The links are in the description below and on the Oaklyn website. We'll also leverage demo content to help you get up and running quickly. So if that sounds good, then stay tuned. We've created a step-by-step article that accompanies this video that you can access on the Oaklyn website at oaklyn.com. We'll add a direct link in the description below. There, we'll include the written steps as well as any links mentioned in this video. So I would recommend opening it up in a new tab so you can follow along. We're going to create this exact website here, and along the way, I'll show you how to customize every aspect from colors to products, categories, and layouts to suit your business, blog, or brand objectives. Regardless of whether you're selling physical products, services, software, or linking to affiliate partners, we'll cover off all product types to make sure it meets your needs. We realize that a one-size-fits-all approach is never a smart option, and as such, we're going to go through the fundamentals of how to create an e-commerce site and give you the tools and thinking you'll need to be successful. We'll go through the site we're going to create together in more detail shortly. However, feel free to follow the link in the description below and check it out for yourself. The theme we'll use in this tutorial is one of the best around and very easy to customize, as it allows us to use a number of drag and drop page builders like the Divi Page Builder, Elementor Page Builder, and the Site Origin Page Builder. So if you're familiar with any of those, creating the site you want will be a breeze. And if not, I'll show you how to do it. If for whatever reason you don't like the design of the demo theme we're using, or you're set on a certain type of design, that's fine. What we're going to cover in this video is the process of setting up an e-commerce store, which will allow you to use any theme you like. For a list of the best WordPress themes for e-commerce, which includes the theme we'll use today, check out our best WordPress e-commerce themes article on the Oaklyn blog and sign up to our newsletter for exclusive discounts. You'll literally be able to use any theme on this list. This is what we meant when we said we'll focus on the fundamentals. We'll walk you through the process of planning out the structure or wireframing your pages, products, and categories, how to reference the theme documentation to guide you through the theme-specific elements of your e-commerce website, and things like integrating your preferred payment methods. If you find an alternate theme you want to roll with, that's cool. Follow along with this tutorial and substitute in the theme you want to use. Having built hundreds of WordPress websites and blogs for clients ranging from $1,500 to tens of thousands of dollars, I can walk you through the best practices and help you avoid some of the common errors that beginners inevitably make. The steps we'll cover in this video are 1. Preparation. We believe the most important thing to creating a successful e-commerce website is to begin with the end in mind. If you've got a clear picture on what your site's going to look like, how products will be structured, and how you use additional pages like your blog to assist in driving traffic to your site, or an FAQ page and other information pages to improve the user experience and communication flow, you're bound to get a better result. We'll then go through the process of registering your domain and setting up hosting for your e-commerce website, as well as installing WordPress on your domain. We'll provide 2 hosting options with discount links in the description below, as well as on the Oaklyn website. The first is a shared hosting option with Bluehost, which is around $4 to $10 per month, depending on the hosting term, and comes with a free domain name if you haven't already registered one. If you want to accept credit card payments directly on your site and not redirect to PayPal, you'll need to get an SSL certificate as well. The other option is WP Engine, which is a managed hosting option. They look after things like site backups, provide a free SSL certificate, and will improve the page load speed of your site. This is a bit more expensive at $20 to $30 per month, but with our link, you get access to a significant discount. Once you've secured your domain and hosting, we'll go through the process of installing WordPress. If you go with the WP Engine option, they take care of this for you. You'll just need to point the A record for your domain at your WP Engine account, which we'll cover off shortly. We'll then go through an overview of the e-commerce website we're going to create and cover off some of the e-commerce fundamentals, like product types and product data, so that you're familiar with this when we upload and manage products in the back end of your new site. We'll then go through an overview of the WordPress fundamentals, like amending the global settings and creating pages, posts, and categories to make sure you're comfortable with the platform. We have a separate section later related to products and a detailed WooCommerce tutorial to make sure you feel confident. We'll then move on to choosing and uploading your WordPress theme, installing the required plugins, WooCommerce specifically, as it's the plugin we add to WordPress to give us e-commerce functionality. We'll then go through a detailed WooCommerce tutorial. This will include adding and managing products, adjusting the WooCommerce settings to suit your business, brand, or blog, and we'll cover off on fulfillment and managing sales to make sure you know what needs to happen once orders come in. Lastly, we'll customize your website to reflect the design and layout you want. This will include general branding, layout, and the theme customization settings. The theme we use in this tutorial comes with demo content that you have the option to import, which will recreate all the pages, products, and layouts on the demo site. The only difference being it will use image placeholders instead of the actual images for licensing reasons. If you choose to use this, we will show you how to update the layouts to suit your online store, as well as how to delete products, pages, categories, and create new ones to suit you. We've provided a breakdown of the agenda in the description below with timestamps to make it easy for you to pause and navigate your way through this tutorial. If you ever need to go back or jump forward, just review the description below. So let's get to it. In this tutorial, we're going to go through and customize everything about this site, from the logo and other branding assets to products, pages, and design features like colors and layouts. So what you'll need to have prepared is your logo if you plan on using one. The theme we'll use also allows you to use a simple text logo, like what's shown in the example. You'll also need to put together any branding assets, such as hero images and your color palette in the form of the hexadecimal color codes you want to use on your site. In regards to the products you intend to sell on your website, you will need to put together the following for each: a product title, descriptions, both short versions that will appear here and a long version that will appear down here, SKUs or stock keeping units, which you will use to identify unique products. This will be forward facing and displayed on the front end of your site, so pick something that's customer friendly. Product type, we'll cover these off in more detail shortly, but this includes simple products, for example a pair of sunglasses, or variable products, like a pair of shoes, which has a number of colors and or sizes. These are referred to as attributes, but we'll get to this in a bit. Price, as well as a sales price if appropriate, stock or quantity of each item, images, this should include both a feature image as well as additional supporting images, referred to as gallery images. All your images should be the same size to ensure consistency. Depending on which theme you use, you'll be able to find the minimum recommended image sizes for each type of image that will be used on your site. The product images for the theme we'll use should be 800 pixels wide by 1100 pixels high. If you want to use a different dimension, that's fine, just be consistent. Make sure that your images look good on Retina displays. A resolution of 72 dpi is fine for web, and try to keep the file size of each image as small as possible, always less than 500 kilobytes, so that it doesn't impact your page load speed. Next is categories. This is probably the most important aspect and something you should take time to consider, as it will impact the way you lay out your online store and how users will navigate your site. You should group products in ways that make the most sense for your product range. An example of this on the demo site has the top level category of women and subcategories of dresses, shirts, shoes, etc. Take some time to think through the best way to structure your offerings. Lastly, you may want to add tags to each product. Unlike categories, this doesn't need to be hierarchical, rather a way of providing additional information related to the item. For example, type of material, which collection it's from, etc. Try not to go overboard with tags. Tags don't have any impact on SEO, contrary to popular opinion, so stuffing your products with tags will only make things congested, as they will be visible on the front end. The types of tags that do impact SEO are what's referred to as meta tags. This is for another day though. If you're interested in learning about SEO for WordPress and e-commerce, check out one of our courses or pre-register for a discount at courses.oaklyn.com. At this stage, you'll also want to consider the types of pages you want to include on your website, such as an about page, FAQ, contact page, order tracking page, size guide, and start thinking through the content you want to include on each. The theme that we use includes a number of pre-built layouts, as you just saw, to provide a solid base to start from. As you'll see later, it also includes a comprehensive free page builder that allows you to easily and visually create and edit pages without needing to know any code. Lastly, you'll need a small budget of around $150 to $300, depending on the options you choose. This will include things like your domain, hosting, and a premium WordPress theme, as well as any other design or image assets you may need. I've provided some affiliate links in the description below and on the Oaklyn site that I'd recommend you use for two reasons. 1, with many of the options available, you'll be eligible to receive a discount and other goodies. And 2, by using those links, they help fund future free tutorials like this one, so your support is appreciated. Remember to head over to the Oakland website and sign up for our newsletter as well. That will give you access to free website and digital marketing tutorials, discounts, and valuable content that you'll find useful as you continue to build out your website, like free image resources, SEO and search marketing tips, as well as how to leverage free tools like Google Analytics. Okay, so there's a bit to do to get ready. Fortunately, if you haven't got that all together as yet, it's okay. We can continue on and get your site set up and go through the fundamentals while you finalize putting those items together. The theme we'll use has dummy content that we can upload and use as a placeholder for now, enabling you to keep things moving. The next step is to register your domain if you haven't already and set up hosting. Your domain or URL is the web address for your online store and is what users will type into their browsers to access your site. For Oakland, it's Oakland, OHKLYN.com. Pick something that's relevant and memorable. Hosting is what allows your online store to be accessible to users 24/7. It's the process of storing the content and data of your e-commerce website on a web server and serving it to users. For this tutorial, there's 2 options to choose from, and we'll quickly walk you through getting started with each. The first is the cheaper shared hosting option through Bluehost, and the second is the premium option through WP Engine. We use both providers. Oakland is hosted on WP Engine, and our demo sites are hosted on Bluehost. There are discount links to each option below and on the Oakland website. Firstly, for those of you who want to go with the cheaper option, let's register your free domain and set up hosting with Bluehost. For those that want to go with WP Engine, skip ahead to the next section and follow the instructions. There's a link in the description below that gives you access to discount hosting through Bluehost, as well as a free domain name. If you're following along on the Oakland website, you can click on this button here to get access. Here is the list of the types of domains that are included for free, some of which include a .com, .online, .store, .net, .org, .co, or .club. Now, if you've already purchased your domain or you want to purchase an alternative top-level domain such as .shop, or you want a country-specific domain such as .co.uk or .com.au, you can purchase that domain through a registrar like GoDaddy, Crazy Domains, or any other domain registrar. I'll add some links below. If you go with that option, or as I mentioned, if you've already secured your domain name, all you'll need to do is then change what's called the domain name servers to point at Bluehost, which will be your hosting provider. Fortunately, we've written an article and a step-by-step guide on how to do this. I'll add the links to these guides in the description box below. For the Bluehost option, we'll take care of both registering your domain and setting up hosting as well as installing WordPress together. So to do this, follow the Bluehost link in the description below, or if you're on the Oakland website, follow this button here. Bluehost is an affiliate partner of Oakland, so by using those links, not only do you get access to discount hosting and a free domain, but they'll set aside a few dollars from their marketing budget to help fund future free videos like this one. So we appreciate you using the link provided. If you plan on processing credit card payments on your site, you'll need an SSL certificate. Alternatively, if you just want to process payments externally via PayPal, you won't need an SSL certificate. If you're going to use PayPal as your sole payment gateway, you can go with the standard shared hosting plan and click the Get Started Now button to select your hosting plan and register your free domain. If you want to accept credit card payments on your site, then under the hosting option in the menu, click on WooCommerce Hosting and then Get Started Now. Regardless of which option you went with, you'll then select the plan that's right for you. If you intend to have just the one domain for your online store, then the first option will be fine. Alternatively, if you want to have multiple domains on the one hosting account, then you'll need to select one of the other plans. You can always amend this down the track. The great thing is that you get a 30-day money-back guarantee on either plan, so you can get started risk-free. For this example though, I'll go with the middle option. To get your free domain, you'll enter the desired domain name for your online store into the new domain field. Select the domain extension, for example, .store, and hit next. If the domain name isn't available, you'll get an error message and will need to either select an alternate domain name, try to contact the owner of the domain to purchase it from them, or select another top-level domain extension. If you've already purchased your domain name, enter the domain name in the transfer domain field and select next. Remember to review the article on how to change the DNS records to point at Bluehost. To set up your hosting account, enter in the required account information here. In the package information section, choose your desired hosting term and domain add-on preferences. I recommend selecting domain privacy protection so that your personal information that's associated to your domain isn't publicly available. This is optional, of course. Once you've entered the required information, add your payment details, review the terms, and select submit. Once you've done that, you'll be taken to this page here. You'll have been sent a confirmation email to the designated email address on the account. You'll need to create a password for your hosting account. To do that, click on Create Your Password. Make sure to pick a secure password. You could use the Suggest Password tool to help you with this. Once you've entered in your password, review the terms of use and select Next. You'll then be able to log into your Bluehost dashboard. As part of the new Bluehost offering, WordPress will automatically be installed on your new domain. If you've registered your domain elsewhere, you'll need to amend the DNS records to point at Bluehost and install WordPress using the Bluehost one-click WordPress install. For the steps on how to do this, review our article on the Oakland blog. The direct link will be in the description below. You can choose to install one of the free pre-selected WordPress themes on your domain. For this tutorial, we'll use a premium WordPress theme. So in this case, we'll just select skip this step. WordPress will now be installed on your domain. To access the backend of your WordPress website, click Start Building. This will prompt a guided tour, which you can choose to run through or not. We'll go through this in our tutorial, so I'll click I don't need help. This will take you to the Bluehost tab within the backend of your WordPress site. To access your WordPress dashboard, click on Dashboard in the menu on the left. There will be a number of notifications that you can action or dismiss by clicking on the X in the top right corner. You can amend what's visible on your dashboard by clicking on the Screen Options drop-down in the top right and checking or unchecking the boxes. A number of additional plugins will be installed. You can view these by hovering over plugins in the admin menu on the left and selecting Install Plugins. In addition to the standard WordPress plugins, Bluehost will install Jetpack, Mojo Marketplace, Opt-in Monster, and WP Forms. You can leave these active or choose to deactivate and delete these plugins. I'll leave this up to you. I'll delete mine as I like to use as few plugins as possible. This can be done in bulk by selecting the checkbox next to the plugins, choosing Deactivate from the Bulk Actions dropdown, and then clicking Apply. I'll then delete all the selected plugins. Then return back to my WordPress dashboard. If I enter in my domain name, I'll see that WordPress is now installed. Congratulations, you officially have a new website. It's not quite an online store yet, but we'll get to that shortly. For those that have gone through registering your domain and setting up hosting with Bluehost, you can move on to the next step, which is the overview of the e-commerce website we'll create and some e-commerce fundamentals. Click on the timestamp in the description below to skip ahead. For those who want faster hosting or more consistent hosting and want to go with a premium hosting solution, we'll go through the steps of setting up hosting with WP Engine. As part of the Oakland community, you're entitled to a discount by following the link provided, which is either in the description box below, or if you're following along on the Oakland website, you can click on this link here. That will take us to the WP Engine site. We'll scroll down until we see the different plans. If you just want to set up a single website, the personal plan will be fine. You can always add additional domains at any stage. However, if you're going to manage multiple websites, then you may want to look at the other plans. For this example, we'll go with the personal option. That will take us through to this page here. By selecting the annual option, we get 2 months free. And in addition to that, through being part of the Oakland community, you get access to a 20% off coupon on top of that. To get access to that, click the link provided or enter oakland.com/go/WP-engine, which will take you through to the WP Engine site and include the discount. If for whatever reason the discount code doesn't carry across, then sign up for our newsletter and you'll be sent a welcome email with the WP Engine discount code included. To create your account, enter your email, account name, select which data center you want to use. There are a number of options to choose from. Pick the location that's closest to you or your intended audience. Then input your name, scroll down to the billing information and add your billing info, review the terms and conditions, and then click on Create My Site. Once you've done that, your WP Engine portal will be in the process of being built. You can confirm the details here. The plan details are on the left-hand side, and your billing information is on the right. If we scroll down, we'll see the details of our account and username. Our password will be sent to our email account, and then below that, we've got the details of our URL. On the Oakland website, there's a link to a video that goes through how you complete the setup process, so I'd recommend clicking on that to finalize your account setup. The cool thing about WP Engine is you won't need to install WordPress. They do that for you. There are some tools to help you with getting started, so if you need to migrate an existing site, then there's tools to help you with that. The best thing about managed hosting is that you've got full support. So if there's anything that's unique or you're struggling with anything in particular, you can contact them directly and they'll be able to help you through the process. You will have received an email from WP Engine. Follow that link through to enter your password, and that will take you to your WP Engine portal, which looks like this. Pause this video, and once you've pointed your domain's A record at WP Engine and WordPress is installed for you, we can continue on to the next section, where we'll take a good look at the website we're going to create and cover off on the WooCommerce fundamentals you'll need to know, like product types, using shortcodes, and widgets. Once again, follow the link on the Oakland post here to the video on how to point your domain's A record at WP Engine and finalize your hosting setup. Alright, we've gone through the first two steps, which were preparation as well as registering your domain, setting up hosting, and installing WordPress. We can now move on to the next step. We'll now take a good look at the website we're going to put together, as well as cover off on some of the e-commerce fundamentals you'll need to be familiar with when working with WooCommerce. To view the live demo and follow along, enter the URL on your screen now, which will also be in the description box below, and on the Oakland website. As you can see, it's a really clean and modern design and features all the elements, widgets, and layout options you would expect in a modern online store. We have 10 plus homepage layouts to choose from, and by the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to combine elements from different layouts to create an infinite amount of layout options. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to go with the default option, but go through all the options and pick the one that you like the most. Later on, I'll show you how to edit the layout you want. If we click on the Shop tab, that will take us through to the demo shop. If we hover over the shop menu item at the top, we can see a number of options. In the customization section of this tutorial, we'll go through adjusting all these settings specifically for your online store. Some of the options include the global layout. Here we can choose between a full width layout, which it currently is, a box layout, and we can turn off the footer reveal at the bottom. In regards to our product filtering options, the default option is an off-site filter, which appears when you click on the filter icon. These are controlled via widgets, specifically the WooCommerce shopping widgets, which we'll explore later. There is also the option for a left sidebar, right sidebar, and catalog mode, which removes prices and the add to cart option. Underneath that are the category headers, which gives you control over whether the header and description text display for category pages, for example, men's, accessories, etc. And if it is displayed, how you want the text aligned. If we hover over the products menu item, we have the various types of products, which include a simple product, one that doesn't include any attributes or variations like size or color. A simple product will display a feature image and the gallery images, the product title, price, any reviews, the short description here, quantity selector, add to cart button, SKU, categories, tags, the ability to share on social media, and if you scroll down, the long description, reviews, and related products. Next is a variable product, which is a product that does have attributes or variations, such as size and color. You'll notice this looks similar. However, it also includes a drop-down for the user to select the specific attributes of the product they want. We'll go through how to set these up in the backend, as well as how to manage stock levels, etc. for each product and variation. If we scroll down, there is also an additional information tab that outlines the various product attributes. Next, we have grouped products. Grouped products allow you to group multiple products together as suggested packages, where the user can opt for the number of each item they want. This is done by creating a new product and pulling in other products to create a set or group. While this helps with link selling, there is also an additional plugin that you can purchase from the WooCommerce website in the extension store under product type called product bundles that allow you to offer bundled products where you can set the quantity and sell it as a package rather than a suggested grouping. There are a huge range of WooCommerce extensions, so if there's something custom you're trying to do on your site, like manage subscriptions, memberships, or bookings, check out the WooCommerce extension store. We'll be putting together a membership subscription model site shortly, so subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up to our newsletter to stay in the loop on that. Next is an external or affiliate product. If you're a blogger or affiliate marketer, this theme handles external or affiliate products really well with the ability to input custom external links and amend the button text for each product. There is also the ability to add a video to any product, the option to add an extended description, which you can view here, mark sale items, which will add a strike through the regular price and list the sale price next to it, as well as add the sale tag over the image. You can show when a product is out of stock. This is done by managing the stock levels in the backend, which we'll cover off in the WooCommerce tutorial section. And lastly, add upsells to products. This is done by allocating an upsell product to another product, and we'll feature this "You may also like" section underneath the description and reviews. Under the Elements tab, you'll notice there's a number of options for how products can be displayed. In WooCommerce, this is handled by what's called shortcodes and gives you the option to display products in a number of unique ways. This can include products by category. This shows you the categories and the number of products grouped within each category. From here, the user is able to navigate to view all products within a category by clicking on a specific category. Products by product ID. This allows you to list and show only specific products on a page or within a section, irrespective of which category they are from. Best selling products. This is based on your sales data once you've processed some transactions. Products on sale showcases all the products currently on sale. And recent products, which shows the newest products added to your store. On the WooCommerce website, there is a list of all the shortcodes available for use on your website. Later, we'll go through how to add these into pages and sections of your website to create the exact layout you want. What you'll notice about each shortcode is that they also come with a list of variables or arguments you can include in the shortcode. These include things like how many columns you want displayed, the number of products you want to show per page, and the specifics like the product ID, SKU, or the category name. In our WooCommerce tutorial section, we'll cover off how you add this data to products, as well as how you find product IDs. The other pages featured under the Elements menu option are the pre-made layouts that ship with this theme and will be available for you to upload, which we'll do together in the customization section of this tutorial. This includes pages for order tracking, what the My Account page looks like, the cart page, as well as the FAQ, the About page, size guide, store locator, and contact page. If you plan on leveraging content marketing to drive traffic to your website, the blog styling included in this theme is really nice. There are a couple of options of how you can lay out your blog page, which include the standard blog layout with a sidebar, or a minimal full width blog layout. As you can see, the article or post layout itself is clean and minimal and includes the ability to feature images in a nice light box. It features recommended articles at the bottom, and you can also use WooCommerce widgets to feature products in the sidebar or within your article. Finally, let's go through the process of adding a product to the cart, viewing the cart, and proceeding to the checkout, so you can view the user flow. To do this, I'll click on a simple product, which takes me to this page. I'll select my quantity and add this to the cart. You'll see this notification that the item has been added to my cart. I can either click on the cart option, or towards the top, you'll notice that there are now items in my cart. If I hover over the cart icon, it will show me what's in my cart and give me the options to either view my cart or check out. I'll select View Cart. This takes me through to my cart page, where I can view what's been added, make amendments to quantities, or delete items, as well as add a coupon code. Later, I'll show you how to create and manage coupon codes. I can then update my cart, scroll down, and click Proceed to Checkout. If I'm a returning customer, I can log in to speed up the checkout process, or add a coupon code if I forgot to do so. Below that, I add my billing information, as well as a note if required, say for delivery instructions as an example. If we scroll down, we'll see a summary of the order, as well as the payment options available, which will depend on the options you set up. We'll cover off payment options in our WooCommerce tutorial section later. Once the payment method is selected, the user can click Place Order. Okay, so that's the walkthrough of the website we're going to build, and we've touched on some of the fundamentals like product types, shortcodes, and widgets. Let's log into the backend of our WordPress website by adding /wp-admin to your domain. So for my example domain of example.com, I'll enter example.com/wp-admin. Use the login username and password that we set up in the prior step, and that will take you to the back end of your WordPress dashboard. We'll now move on to the next section, which is an overview of WordPress. Whenever you log into your WordPress website, you're taken to your WordPress dashboard. The first time you log in, depending on which hosting provider you went with, there may be a walk me through it feature or welcome series, which you can choose to follow along with or not. I've installed WordPress in a development environment. It's a clean WordPress install, so it should look the same. If it's slightly different though, don't worry, the fundamentals will all be the same. I do a lot of WordPress website and blog development for clients and prefer to work in a staging or development environment before pushing a site live. However, it isn't always necessary, and for the purpose of this video, we'll build your website on the live site. We will be putting together a video shortly on how to install WordPress locally on your computer and the process of taking your site live. So if that's of interest, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the video section for more on that. If you build your website on your live site, I would recommend installing a maintenance mode or coming soon plugin. I'll provide a link to a video in the description below on how to do that. Okay, so the WordPress dashboard or admin panel is broken down into three main sections. At the top, we have the WordPress toolbar. The menu or admin menu is located on the left-hand side. And the main admin area is in the middle, where we'll do most of our work. I'll give you a brief overview of each section now. If you want to take a deeper look, then check out our Introduction to WordPress for Beginners guide and video. The WordPress toolbar at the top is dynamic and adjusts the available options depending on which page you're on and if you're viewing the page from the front or the back end. The admin menu located to the left of your dashboard is separated into three main sections. Those are the dashboard section, the content management section, and the site administration section. The dashboard section provides easy access to the dashboard, updates, and additional plugin features. The content management section is where you create and manage posts, pages, media items, comments, and additional plugin features. The site administration section is where you configure the design and appearance settings for your website, including selecting the active theme for your website, creating and managing menus, widgets, and customizing your website's theme. It's also where we manage plugins, users, control global WordPress settings, and activate theme and plugin extensions like SEO, social sharing, theme-specific settings, and security. We'll go through some practical examples for each of these in the coming sections once we upload our theme and start working with content. The menu is fully responsive, meaning that as the screen size gets smaller, the menu adjusts to remain accessible on all types of devices. Lastly, the main admin area serves as our primary workspace and adjusts depending on what's selected from the admin menu. I'll draw your attention to the Screen Options tab in the top right corner. When you open this tab, you'll see a list of options and features that are available for display depending on which page you're on. Similarly, the Help tab to the right shows you helpful hints for the page that you're on, as well as links to relevant documentation. For a more detailed overview, see our Introduction to WordPress for Beginners guide or video. Okay, now that we've touched on the fundamentals of WordPress, let's move on to choosing and uploading your WordPress theme. A WordPress theme is a group of files that work with the underlying WordPress software to enhance the design and functionality of your WordPress website. For a more detailed overview, check out our What is a WordPress Theme article on the Oakland blog. There are both free themes and premium themes that you can use for your website. The main benefits of using a premium theme is access to support, the inclusion of more extensive theme documentation or instructions, extended functionality, and access to demo content, and often a one-click demo content importer, which for around $50 to $100 is good value. Premium support packages can cost $50 per month, so the fact that you get this included in a premium theme makes it a smart investment. What you'll find is that every theme is slightly different, and knowing where to find what you're looking for may be intuitive to someone that's done a lot of this, but oftentimes even the pros get stumped. With any of the premium themes that we recommend, there is always priority support available, theme documentation or instructions, and often demo content to get you up and running quickly. On the Oakland blog, we've analyzed hundreds, if not thousands of WordPress themes based on speed, design, ease of use, mobile responsiveness, and functionality to make this process a whole lot easier. We've done this by category, and you can access these via the Oakland blog under the WordPress Theme Reviews category. You'll find a number of articles related to specific niches. The theme that we'll be working with today is one of the top-rated themes. In regards to installing a WordPress theme, you can either install a free theme directly from the WordPress theme repository, or you can purchase a premium theme from a WordPress theme provider and upload the theme, which is the option we'll go with. The theme we'll be using is called Netto by CSS Igniter. The link is in the description below, and if you're following along on the Oakland site, you can click on this link here, which will give you access to discounts when they're available. That will take you through to this page. If you click on Buy Now or scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll get to the pricing options section. You can either purchase just the Netto theme for $49, which includes updates and support for 1 year. The next two options give you access to all their themes and support for 1 year, or you could purchase the lifetime access option, which gives you access to all the themes and support for life. I'll leave that up to you. I went with the lifetime option as these guys make awesome themes. I've put together a tutorial using their awesome theme, which is a really modern and well-designed theme. And I'll be putting together an e-commerce tutorial using both their Olsen and Hugo theme as well, very shortly. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and newsletter to stay in the loop on that. CSS Igniter build great quality themes, and I couldn't recommend them highly enough, as you'll see as we go through. So pick the option that makes sense for you and click Buy Now. Then enter your information and payment details to create an account. Once you've done that, you'll be able to log into the back end of your CSS Igniter account. Within the download area, find the Netto Premium theme and click on WordPress to download the Netto Premium WordPress theme. This will download as a zip file, which will upload as is. There's no need to unzip this file. Back in the members area, you can follow the link to the theme documentation, which will provide all the information we'll need to customize the theme, which we'll go through together. You'll also find the link to download the sample content. If you want to use any of the layouts we went through earlier, it's a good idea to download the demo content now, and we'll go through uploading it, using the aspects you want, and deleting the parts you don't want shortly. As I said at the beginning though, this tutorial isn't a one-size-fits-all. If you don't like the Netto theme, or would prefer to use an alternate theme, that's okay. Pick the theme you want and follow the same process outlined above. Once you've downloaded your theme, we can upload it via your WordPress dashboard. To upload your premium WordPress theme, navigate to Appearance, Themes, choose Add New, and select Upload Theme. Click on Choose File, and navigate to the .zip file for your theme, and select Upload. If you downloaded the demo content for Netto, just make sure you pick the right netto.zip file, as one is the demo content, which will need to be unzipped, and the other will be the theme file, which will need to remain zipped. I downloaded the theme file first, so the second one will be the demo content. So I'll select the netto.zip theme file and hit Open, then Install Now. That will do its thing, and once it's installed successfully, you'll get a confirmation message stating that the theme installed successfully. Select Activate, and you're all set. If you haven't downloaded the demo content already, you can click on the Download the Sample Content link that appears once you install the theme. If you want to install a child theme, you can either use our free child theme generator located under the Resources menu option on the Oakland site by following the instructions. Alternatively, you can also use a plugin called Child Theme Configurator to help set this up. This is best practice, but not essential. In keeping with our anti-one-size-fits-all approach, we'll now go through the theme documentation for Netto to finalize the setup process, install any required plugins, and upload the demo content. If you've gone with an alternative theme, find the documentation and go through the same process. With most premium themes, you'll get access to the demo content, which is one of the reasons I always use premium themes, because it just makes the process so much easier. The link to the Netto theme is in the description below and on the Oakland website by clicking on this button here. From here, you'll find the documentation you'll need under Support and by scrolling down and clicking on Netto. Alright, so we've already taken care of the theme installation. We'll move on to installing WooCommerce and the other plugins we need next. If we scroll down, it has some information on the minimum recommended image sizes to be used in the theme, as well as the other recommended plugins. Below that is a guide on importing demo content and widgets, which we'll do after all the plugins are installed, as well as an overview on adding posts, pages, products, setting up the shop, how to use the page builder, and then customizing the theme. I'll walk you through all of this. If you went with an alternate theme, go through the documentation, as this is the best practice to get your site up and running successfully. If you run into any problems, reach out to the support team, which is the benefit of having a premium theme. We'll go through this in a lot of detail, and I expect that this will be a seamless experience for you. However, the team at CSS Igniter is always there for you if you get stuck. The next thing we need to do is install some plugins that are leveraged within this theme. These will vary depending on the theme that you're using. In this case, we'll install WooCommerce. If you want to include a contact form on your website, we'll install Contact Form 7. Contact Form 7 is a solid form plugin, however, it's not the most intuitive to use. I'm going to walk you through it, so we'll get this option working for you. However, there are some more intuitive drag and drop options like Ninja Forms, WP Forms, or Gravity Forms. I'll add links in the description below. Alternatively, you can integrate a form from your CRM if you opt to use one. We'll then install WP Instagram widget, which will allow us to include an Instagram feed in the footer or sidebar of our site. Next is Max Slider. If you want to include a slider on your homepage, you'll need this one. And if not, then you can skip it. We'll also install Widget Importer and Exporter to bring in the widget layouts used in the example site, and the Elementor Page Builder plugin, which we'll use to easily create the layouts you want via a drag and drop interface. The only additional plugin I would recommend, which is optional, is something that limits login attempts, which will be a security measure against people trying to brute force attack your store. For this, I would recommend either Server Security and Limit Login Attempts by Gregory or WordFence Security by WordFence. Also, if you want to incorporate Google Analytics into your store, which I'd recommend, I'd suggest using the WooCommerce Google Analytics integration plugin. We'll put together a video on how to do this separately, so check our YouTube channel for that. Alright, so let's go and look at how you install plugins. From your WordPress dashboard, hover over Plugins in the admin menu and select Add New. In the search box, we'll search for WooCommerce, which is by Automatic. With plugins, you always want to check the number of active installs, the star rating and number of reviews, when it was last updated, and if it's compatible with your version of WordPress. In this case, these all look good, so we'll hit Install Now. And then Activate. WooCommerce is a little different to other plugins, as it will launch a configuration wizard, which we'll go through together now. These options aren't set in stone, and we will go through all the WooCommerce settings in the next section. From this screen, we'll hit Let's Go. The first thing WooCommerce will need to do is create a few pages that all e-commerce websites need. These are the shop page, where your products will be displayed, a cart page, where users will view the items they've selected and begin the checkout process, a checkout page, where users will transact, and a My Account page, where users can log in and view their orders. These pages exist in the demo content we'll upload, so it will create duplicates later, but we can easily delete the pages we don't want. We'll select Continue. The next step is to set the location for your store. This will have an impact on taxes and shipping options. The first option will set your currency and bring in the relevant tax information. These will be displayed on the front end of your site and used for calculating prices, taxes, and shipping costs. I'm in New York, so I'll select New York. Select your location. Pick your currency. In my case, US dollars is fine. Whether or not you'll be charging sales tax, and if so, will you include the tax in the price you list against each product, or will the price be excluding tax? We'll then select Continue. Depending on your location, under shipping options, you can opt to enable WooCommerce services that will allow you to print labels and get discounts with specific postal partners. If you're not shipping physical products or this isn't relevant for you, uncheck the box, otherwise leave it checked. Below that, you'll select your measurement units, in this case, pounds and inches, and then click Continue. Next is selecting the payment methods for your site. If you plan to take credit card payments on your site and you've set up your SSL certificate, then you will need one of these options. Follow the links to learn more about each option and follow the instructions to integrate your account with your website. I'll add a link to the WooCommerce website that has the full list of payment gateways available, as well as the documentation and videos on how to integrate each option. Below that is the standard PayPal option, and will be the most common option for those new to running an e-commerce store. Once connected to your PayPal account, this will give users the option to check out and pay using PayPal. The user will be redirected to the PayPal website to make payment, and then redirected back to your website once payment has been made. We'll select that option and enter in our PayPal email address. The three options at the bottom are offline methods of payment. We'll select payment on delivery so we can test our store and make sure everything works as expected. Just remember to remove this later if you won't be taking payment this way. Once you've done that, you will see a Your Store is Ready message and be given a number of options, including the option to create your first product or import products via CSV, as well as a number of options to learn more. I would recommend getting familiar with the WooCommerce support videos, as these are incredibly helpful, particularly when you're new to WooCommerce. Their videos and guides are quite comprehensive and cover everything from getting started to more detailed overviews of working with products, tax rates, shipping, integrating payment gateways, and much more. Down the very bottom is the Return to WordPress dashboard option, which we'll click for now. In the next section, we'll take a good look at WooCommerce, specifically adding products and amending the settings. From your WordPress dashboard, you will notice that two new tabs have been created. The WooCommerce tab, which is where you'll manage orders through your site, coupon codes, and general WooCommerce settings, and the Products tab, which is where you'll manage products and the categories and tags used to group products. We will go through these tabs in the WooCommerce tutorial section shortly. Let's go back and add the rest of the required plugins. From your WordPress dashboard, we'll hover over Plugins and select Add New. We'll search for Contact Form 7. It's by Takayuki Miyoshi. This is the one we want here. We'll check the number of active installs, the star rating and number of reviews, when it was last updated, and if it's compatible with your version of WordPress. It looks good, so we'll select Install Now and then Activate. Select Add New, search for WP Instagram widget. This one's by Scott Evans. Everything looks good, but it isn't tested at the moment with the latest version of WordPress. Generally, if you see this, you should be mindful of what you're installing. In this case, however, I've tested it and it's not going to cause any issues, so we're okay to install this plugin. Select Install Now and then Activate. Select Add New. This time, search for Max Slider by the CSS Igniter team. Once again, this one is untested with our current version of WordPress. However, I've tested this plugin in our example and we're okay to install it. So we'll select Install Now and hit Activate. Click on Add New. Search for Widget Importer and Exporter by WP Ultimate. Select Install Now and hit Activate. The last required plugin is the Elementor Page Builder. So we'll select Add New, search for Elementor Page Builder by elementor.com, select Install Now, and hit Activate. There are two additional plugins that are optional, but I would recommend. They are Server Security and Limit Login Attempts by Gregory, which is a security measure against brute force attacks. The other is WooCommerce Google Analytics integration. If you want to include either one of those, follow the steps we went through and then customize the plugin for your site in the settings area of the plugin. Okay, now that we have our theme and required plugins installed and activated, let's go through a quick WooCommerce tutorial to get you comfortable with the plugin. In this section of the video, we'll take a look at the fundamentals of WooCommerce, where we'll cover getting started, configuring the WooCommerce settings, adding and managing products, categories, and tags, and lastly, fulfillment or managing sales. By now, you should have installed and activated the WooCommerce plugin. If you haven't done that yet, from your WordPress dashboard, head to Plugins, Add New, search for WooCommerce by Automatic, select Install, and Activate. In the last section, we went through how to use the installation wizard to get started, which is an optional step. The first thing we'll do is go through the WooCommerce settings, some of which will already be populated if you went through the steps in the Welcome Wizard. From your WordPress dashboard, hover over WooCommerce and select Settings. From within the WooCommerce settings area, you'll notice there's a number of tabs. These include General, Products, Tax, Shipping, Checkout, Accounts, Emails, and API. Rather than me go through these with you, WooCommerce have put together detailed video tutorials on all the setting options and what they mean for each tab. Let's go into the General tab. Under WooCommerce, Settings, General, in the top right-hand corner, select the Help dropdown. Within there, you will see a guided tour tab, and included in there is a detailed video walking you through every option within this tab. If we close that, go across to the Products tab, open the Help tab, you'll see that we have the same thing here. I'll also include a link in the description to the WooCommerce guided videos for you to access, where you can view this video series as well. This will mean you always have access to the most relevant and up-to-date information. These videos will do a better job than anybody at explaining what's possible, so pause this video and go through each tab to get these settings configured just the way you want. Once you've done that, we'll move on to adding and managing products, categories, and tags, and customizing your online store. Okay, so by now you should have gone through the WooCommerce settings and configured your settings the way you want. What we'll do now is look at adding products, categories, and tags. Once we've done that, we'll move on to uploading the demo content for our site, if you want to do that, and go through the theme settings to customize the look, feel, and layouts of your store. After installing WooCommerce, you would have noticed that a new tab called Products was created within your WordPress admin menu. This is where you'll manage the products for your store, as well as the categories and tags associated to products. By hovering over the Products tab in the admin menu on the left, you will see the option to view all products, add new products, add and manage categories, tags, and attributes. If you spent some time at the beginning and have given thought to how you want to structure your online store and the products you'll be offering, then we can move straight into the practical steps of adding products and creating categories, tags, and attributes. If you haven't done that yet, spend a few moments now before moving on. You will be able to add categories, tags, and products to navigation menus and to sidebar widgets, so consider navigation in your planning, as well as the products and product categories you want to feature. It's also good to start thinking about if you want to feature recently added products, sale items, or specific categories. You should be fairly comfortable with categories and tags by now. However, you may not be 100% familiar with what attributes are. Attributes refer to the characteristics of the products you sell and their variations. For example, size or color. If your sizing is consistent across products or you offer similar colors in a number of product lines, it will be a good idea to set these up as attributes, which we'll do later. If not all products have every size and color available, it's not a problem, as we can remove the individual attributes for each product that aren't relevant. The value in setting up attributes is that it will speed up your workflow, but it will also allow users to filter by those attributes from within the product filter options. For example, in our demo, this allows users to filter by a specific color and show only results that feature that color, which is done by adding the WooCommerce layered nav widget to the shop widget area. It's good to team this up with the WooCommerce layered nav filter widget that allows users to remove the selections they've made. We'll go into more detail when we create variable products. Before we can go and add products, what I recommend doing first is creating your product categories, which will provide the structure for your online store. For this example, I'll use 4 simple categories: men's with a subcategory of shoes and women's with a subcategory of dresses. To add categories, hover over products and select categories. If it's a new website and you haven't imported any demo content, there will be no categories as yet. To create a new category, enter the name of the category into the name field. For example, let's use men's. The slug is the user-friendly version of the category name and will be automatically created if you don't specify one. You then have the option to select a parent category from the drop-down. Below, you can enter the description for the category. With certain themes, this will be displayed on the archive pages for the category, like it does here with the Netto theme. You can disable this by setting the Show Hero section option here to No. Below that are the styling options for the Hero section, which is specific to the Netto theme. Play around with those to see what works best for your design. If we scroll down to the Display Type option, we can choose if we want to display products, subcategories, or both on the archive page for this category. Lastly, if we want to show categories on the shop or homepage, you may want to set a custom image for that category. To do that, select Upload/Add Image, and either upload or choose an image from the media library. I'll upload a few images that I'll use for our demos. You can choose to either select files or just drag them in. I'll drag them in. Then select the one I want to use. Adding a user-friendly title and an alt text is good practice. Once you've done that, select Use Image and Add New Category. To add a subcategory, enter the name of the subcategory. I'll enter shoes. I'll leave the slug as default. Select the parent category, in this case men's. I'll add a brief description. Leave the display type as default. Select an image to use for the category from the options I uploaded earlier, and select Add New Category. In our list, you'll see that shoes are now indented underneath men's to show the correct hierarchy. Take a moment to set up the rest of your categories. I'll add the rest of my demo categories in now. You'll create tags in a similar way. We'll now move on to adding products. To add a new product, hover over Products and select Add New. At the very top is where we enter the product name. This is the title that will be displayed on the front end, and depending on your permalink settings, will be used in the URL for the product page. This will impact your SEO efforts, so try to use relevant and descriptive product names. To learn more about SEO fundamentals for WordPress, check out our courses at courses.oakland.com. Below that, this is where you'll enter the long description for the product. This will be displayed down here, under the description tab. You'll have the option to add your text to either the visual editor, which has the same formatting options we covered in the posts and pages section, or you can paste content directly into the text editor. Remember, to avoid formatting issues, if you are pasting text from a word processing document, paste it into the text editor, then format it via the visual editor. Below that is our product data, which we'll come back to in just a minute. Under the product data tab is where we add the short description, which with most themes, including the theme we're using, will be displayed in this section here. If for whatever reason you don't see either of these tabs, scroll back up to the top and under Screen Options, you can check the boxes next to any of the tabs you want to see and uncheck those you want to hide. Okay, back to our product data section. Our first option is to select the type of product we are creating from the drop-down list. These include a simple product, which is a product that has no variations or attributes, such as size or color. This could be a book, a pair of sunglasses with only one color option, etc. Conversely, a variable product is a product that has variations or attributes. For example, a pair of shoes with multiple sizes and colors. A grouped product is a newly created product that groups existing products into a suggested group. And an external/affiliate product is a product listing that redirects the user to an external shop to make the transaction, such as eBay or Amazon. Digital products are accounted for by using the virtual and/or downloadable checkboxes. The virtual option is for products that don't require shipping. You'll notice that when that gets checked, the shipping tab is removed from below. Downloadable means that we're sending the user files. For example, this could be a guide or PDF. In most cases, a digital product will be both virtual and downloadable. When downloadable is selected, you'll see additional settings where you can add files by selecting Add File, entering in a file name, and selecting the file URL, which if you upload it to the media library will be the URL located here. Alternatively, you can host your files elsewhere and enter the URL. You can set download limits and an expiry time frame here, and the tax information below. We'll uncheck those boxes for now, and we'll take a look through the available tabs. On the General tab, this is where you set the price. You can also set a sales price, as well as schedule when items go on sale, which is a really handy feature. This will be based on the time settings you use in your general WordPress settings, which is in the admin menu under Settings and General. So make sure you've set the right time if you plan to use this feature. When you set the sales price for an item, it will add a strike through the old price and add a sales flag over the image on both the product and archive pages, like this here. Obviously, each theme will treat this slightly different. Below that, you can amend the tax status and tax class for individual products. On the inventory page, here is where you'll set the SKU or stock keeping unit. This will be displayed on the front end, so pick something meaningful and also relatively customer friendly. You can check the option to manage stock levels. When checked, you're able to enter the stock quantity, whether or not the customer can backorder the product when the stock quantity is equal to 0, and the stock status that manages whether the product is displayed as in stock or out of stock on the front end. Lastly is the option to check whether items can only be sold individually, meaning the item can only be purchased once per order. On the shipping tab, you can set the weight and dimensions for an individual product and set a shipping class if you set up shipping classes in your WooCommerce settings before. The linked products tab allows you to add upsells, which are other products that appear as suggested products on the product page, or cross-sell products, which will appear as recommended products on the cart page. We'll cover off the attributes tab in a moment when we create a variable product. On the advanced tab, the purchase note box allows you to show a message to users after they've purchased the product. Menu order allows you to have more control over the order of how products are displayed on archive pages. The lower the number, the higher the product will be displayed. And lastly, you can opt to enable or disable reviews for individual products. On the right-hand side of the screen, at the top, you have your publishing options. You can save products as drafts, preview what the product page will look like, amend visibility, schedule the product to be published at a future date or time, or publish now. Below that is where you set the product category. You can also create new categories directly from within here. Similarly, you can select or create new tags for the specific product. You can add multiple by separating them with a comma, and delete them by clicking on the X next to the tag. Below that is where you set the feature image for your product. And below that is where you add the gallery images for your product. You can move these tabs around by clicking on them and dragging them into place. Let's create a variable product so that you're comfortable with the whole process, and we can set up product attributes and variations. Let's go to the top and give our product a name. For this example, we've got the Clooney loafers. I'll add the long description here. Because I'm pasting in text from a Word doc, I'll paste it into the text tab and go and add the styling in the visual tab. I'll set the heading to a H3 and italicize the last paragraph. Scroll down and we can add the short description here. In the product data section, we'll select variable product as our product type. You'll notice that this removes the virtual and downloadable options and creates a new tab in the product data section called variations, which we'll go through in a moment. You'll also note that the price option has been removed from the general tab, as we'll be setting all these in the variations tab. This allows us to price different variations of the product differently, if required. In addition to prices, within the variation tab, we can also specify if the variation is virtual or downloadable, set stock levels, add custom images, SKUs, and dimensions, etc. On the inventory tab, if this were a simple product, I would enter the SKU and manage the stock level here. However, given that I have a number of variations, I will manage this from within the variations tab instead. I can set a top level SKU for the product group here. Within the variations tab, you have the option to set a specific variation as the default for a product, in which case it will show the image and SKU for that product by default. If you opt to not set one of the variations as the default, it would be a good idea to add a SKU to the top level product. Otherwise, on the front end, it will set a SKU of NA. Obviously, once the user picks the option they want, they will see the SKU for that variation, but it's worth considering. I'll set a top level SKU of men's shoes Clooney loafers 01 or MSCL01. I'll leave the rest blank. In the shipping tab is where you'll set the dimensions, weight, and shipping class for your product. For this example, I'll leave this blank. I'll also leave the upsell and cross-sell options on the linked products tab blank. Once again, I'll draw your attention to the help tab in the top right and the guided tour tab, which has a very detailed video on creating products, if you want to go through any of the options in more detail. We'll head to the attributes tab. To create variations, you need to do this through creating attributes and assigning them to products. We can do this in a few ways. If we have global attributes that we want to apply to all or multiple products, we'll do this through the attributes tab in the admin menu, which we can get to by hovering over products and selecting attributes. I'll open this in a new tab. From within the attributes tab of the admin menu, we'll create color as a global attribute, like in the live example, as we'll want to add this to our shop sidebar widget and allow users to filter all products by color or products within a specific category by color. Think about how you want users to be able to filter and navigate your site before adding in your products. To do this, we'll give it a name of color. This can be whatever you like. The slug will be set by default if we don't specify one. You can create archive pages based on attributes. However, in this case, I won't. I want this attribute to be a drop-down box when I set it against products, so I'll leave this as select. I'll leave the default sort order and hit add attribute. That will create the new attribute. I then need to click on configure terms to add the specifics of the attribute. In this case, the colors. To do this, I'll just enter the name I want to use for each color and hit add new color. So in my example, I'll add black, blue, brown, green, red, white, and multiple. You don't need to use every color for every product, but you will want to add every color that you use across your site to get the most value from product filters. Once I've done that, I'll head back to the attribute tab within the product data section for the new product we're adding. I'll refresh the page, and if I click on the drop down that says custom product attribute, I'll see the option to add the color attribute. I'll select color and hit add. In the values box, I have the option to pick individual colors. I can remove them by selecting the X next to the color, or I can opt to select all options. And once again, remove the colors that aren't relevant. In my case, the Clooneys, as they're referred to on the street, come in blue, brown, and green. Depending on the number of colors a product has, you can decide which is the better option. Once I've got all the options of the attributes that I need for the product, I'll need to add these as variations. To do this, I'll make sure both the visible on product page and the used for variation boxes are checked and select save attributes. I'll then head into the variations tab. I'll click on the add variations drop down and select create variations from all attributes and hit go. I'll get a warning message saying that it will create a variation of every combination of attributes possible. I'll click OK. You'll then see a message with the number of variations being created. Again, click OK, and the 3 variations are now there. To edit the details of each variation, I'll click next to it or on the drop-down arrow to reveal all the options. Before we do that, I'll show you the other ways to add attributes that we can either choose to use as variations or not. Head back to the attributes tab in the product data section. If I leave custom product variation selected in the drop-down and select add, I can create a unique attribute for just that product. This could be something like color or size, if these are things I don't want to set as global attributes. To do this, I would just give it a name. Let's go with size. In the values box, I would enter the sizes available, separated by the pipe character. And if I wanted to use this as a variation, I would select the used as variation box and then save attributes. I could also use attributes for non-variations by removing the used for variations box. This could be used for something like care instructions if I'm selling clothing or something similar. These would appear in the additional information tab on the product page and could be a nice addition. Let's go back to the variations tab and fill out the rest of the product info for the Cloonies. I'll click next to the blue product variation to show the options. The first thing I can do is set a unique image for this variation by clicking on Upload Image. I'll select the blue loafer image that I uploaded before. You could also upload a new image to use here. I'll make sure the title is user-friendly and set the alt text. Then choose Set Variation Image. Next, I can set a unique SKU for this product. I'll use MSCL01 and BL for blue. Below that, I'll check the option to manage stock levels for this product. I'll set the price of $249 below that. If at a later stage I wanted to put this item on sale, I could enter the price here and schedule the sale. Below that, I'll set the stock level to 12. Next, I don't want to allow back orders. If for any of your products you want to allow back orders, you can select the appropriate option from the dropdown. Below that, you will set the weight, dimension, and shipping class if it's different for this variation. Otherwise, you will complete this information in the general and shipping tabs above for the product. Depending on the theme, the description option within the variation settings will inject an additional description to what's included in the short description for the product. I'll do the same thing for the brown and green variations. Once you've made your updates, select Save Changes. To remove variations, you can click on the Remove option to the right of the variation. If you need to add purchase notes to the products, set a manual order for how the product is displayed, or disable reviews for the product, you can do this in the Advanced tab. If we head back up to the top, on the right-hand side, we have our Publish options. In a moment, we'll preview how our product looks and then publish the product. However, first, we'll head down to the Category tab and add this product to the Shoes category that we set up before by checking the box next to the Shoes category. You can also create new categories from within here. However, there are more options available in the Product Category tab in the admin menu. Below that, you could add tags to the product by entering the tag names separated by a comma. In this case, blue, comma, loafers, comma, casual, and click Add. To remove a tag, click on the X next to the tag. Below that, we can set our feature image for the product. To do that, click on Set Product Image. Either select an image from the media library or upload a new one. Once you've done that, select the image you want to use, make sure the title is user-friendly, set the alt text, and select Set Product Information. To add additional images, we can do this in the Product Gallery section below by clicking on Add Product Gallery Images. Once again, select or upload the image you want to use, set the title and alt text, and choose Add to Gallery. Follow the same process to add multiple images. Once you have all the images you want, you can change the order by clicking on the image and dragging it to where you want it. When you're happy, we'll head up to the top and preview what our product page looks like. You'll notice that we have our feature and gallery images on the left, which open in a lightbox. We then have our product title, price, and short description, and our color option dropdown, where we can choose to select the color preference. The user can then add the product to the cart, view the cart, and proceed to the checkout. At the moment, the price of our variations are all the same. If you want to charge more for a specific variation, you just need to go back to the variation section. Say we want to charge $2.99 for the brown version. We'll change the price here and save changes. We'll then preview the product page. You'll now see that the price is a range rather than a fixed price. When the user selects blue, the price changes to $2.49. And when they select brown, it changes to $2.99. Similarly, if you want to put a specific color on sale, say you want to put the brown version on sale for $1.99, we'll change the original price back to $2.49 and add a sale price of $1.99 here. Save changes, preview that on the front end. You'll see that the range has been created and the sale icon is now added to the product image. If we click on the blue version, the price is the original price, but if we select the brown option, it shows the original price with the strike through and lists the sale price of $1.99. What about when there are multiple variations like color and size? Well, we then create either a global attribute as we did before or a product specific attribute by selecting Add New Custom Product Attribute, giving it a name of size, entering the size attributes separated by the pipe character, in this case 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We need to select Use for Variations and Save Attributes. We'll then go to the Variations tab. If we click on Add Variation, we can now select both attributes. If you're selling fashion items, I would suggest that you create a variation for every product option and manage stock and prices within there. As an example, let's delete all our variations. Let's go back to the Attributes tab and say we only have these available in two sizes, 9 and 10. I'll save that, and for simplicity, we'll say they are only available in blue and brown. I'll save attributes, go back to the Variations tab, and create 4 variations. These will be blue in size 9, blue in size 10, brown in size 9, and brown in size 10. I'll go through and set the image, SKU, click Manage Stock, enter the price and stock level. I'll do this for the rest of them. I'll skip ahead so I don't bore you. Once that's done, I'll hit Save Changes. Now, if we preview from the front, you'll see that there are now 2 options for the user to choose on the front end. Once they've selected the product, it will show the availability and the user can add the product to the cart. If we go back, we can also set a default product color and size if we want to do that. You'll see that the default form fields have changed from choose an option to blue and size 9. Okay, once you're happy, we'll go back and select Publish, which will take our product live. To view the product page, click on View Product at the top. I'll open it in a new tab, and that's how you add a product. One last thing, with the theme we're using, you can add a video as a gallery image. To do that, head down to the Product Appearance tab and enter the video URL in the field here. If we click Update and head to the front end, you'll see we now have the video added into the gallery section. We can click on the video and it will open in a lightbox, which can be a nice feature. If we go back, hover over products and select all products, we'll now see the newly created product in here. If we hover over the product name, we'll see that the product has an ID number. We'll use this later in WooCommerce shortcodes to show products in specific areas. There is also the option to edit the product, which will take you back to where we were and will be how you manage products once they've been created. You can also save products as drafts or put them back to draft mode by editing the status here and selecting draft. When you create new products, you can opt to save them as a draft rather than publish them right away. Or you can also schedule products to be published at a specific date and time by changing the edit option next to publish from immediately to a future date and time. Back under all products, you can also use the quick edit function, which gives you fewer options, as well as duplicate products, which may be useful for similar products as it could speed up your workflow. You can also bulk edit products by selecting the checkbox next to each product or by selecting all. Under the bulk actions dropdown, select edit and apply, and you're able to make bulk edits to a number of product fields. Once again, these will improve your workflow. Some of my favorites and the ones I use the most include the ability to change categories, tags, product status, and the ability to change sale prices in bulk by a fixed amount or percentage. You also have the ability to preview or view products, as well as add products to the trash. To delete products permanently, go to the Trash tab, select the product you want to delete, and click Delete Permanently. You can also do this in bulk. One of the last things I'll show you is how to create and manage coupons for your store. To do this, hover over WooCommerce in the admin menu and select Coupons. To create a new coupon, select Add Coupon at the top. Firstly, enter the coupon code that you'll provide to users. Next is an optional description. In the General tab, you can set your discount type to either percentage discount, fixed cart discount, or fixed product discount. You will then set the coupon amount as either a percentage amount or a fixed dollar value. You can also create a coupon code for free shipping by leaving the coupon amount set to 0, but checking the Allow Free Shipping box. Alternatively, you could allow a discount and free shipping by filling out the coupon amount field and checking the box. You can then set a coupon expiry code at the bottom. This is a good option if you think you'll want to activate the coupon code at a later date, or you could just delete the coupon code when the promo is finished. In the usage restriction tabs, you can set qualifying criteria such as minimum and maximum spends, for individual use only, the ability to exclude sale items, as well as the option to allow discounts on or exclude specific products, categories, or create a VIP email list that gets checked against the checkout email address used. The last tab is usage limits, which can give you more control over how your coupons can be used. Once again, I'll refer you to the help tab and the guided tour video in case you need more information. Once you've got your store set up, you'll want to test the checkout process. To do this, select a product, add it to your cart, check your discount coupon, fill in the customer information, and check out. What we'll look at now is fulfillment and how you manage orders and sales on your website. Once again, I'll refer you to the store management section of the WooCommerce guided tour videos. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the video links for everything you'll need to know, from managing orders to refunds and reporting. I would recommend that you pause this video and watch this series, as they will be the most relevant and up to date. From your WordPress dashboard, you'll see a summary of what's been happening on your store. From there, you'll get a glance at the total sales and popular items, the orders you need to process, orders on hold, and products that are running low or that are out of stock. If you don't see this, or to amend the dashboard tabs, from your WordPress dashboard, select screen options in the top right and check the tabs you want to see, or remove the ones you don't. You can also move the tabs around by clicking and dragging them into place. Okay, so that's the WooCommerce fundamentals you need to know about and the resources to provide more information. Let's move on to the last and probably the most important section of this tutorial, which is customizing your website to look the way you want. Okay, so we've covered off on the fundamentals of WordPress and running a WooCommerce store. These are the things that will be consistent regardless of the theme you use. What we'll do now is upload the demo content for our WordPress theme and go through the customization settings to get your store looking just the way you want. To do this, we'll go through the theme documentation and make edits as we go. As per the documentation, once we've installed all the required plugins, we can then import the demo content. You can download the demo content from within the member area of the CSS Igniter site if you haven't already, or there'll be a notice at the top of your WordPress dashboard with a link to where you can download the sample content. Once you've downloaded the sample content, unzip the folder. Within there, you will find a .xml file that will contain all the products, pages, and post data and layouts. The other folder is a .wye, which will import all the widget information and layouts from the demo site. There's also a .txt readme file, which outlines that uploading such a huge amount of info can be troublesome given the large file sizes, etc. As it says, it may time out, in which case we'll just start again until we see the all done message. It took us a few attempts to upload the content, so if that happens to you, don't stress, just keep trying until it's successful. If you don't want to upload the demo content to your site, you can skip through to the next section, which will be timestamped in the description below. However, you will need to use the page builder to create your layouts from scratch, which isn't difficult, but may take a bit more time. Okay, we'll upload the .xml file first. As the documentation says, to import the .xml file, navigate to the admin panel, hover over Tools, and select Import. Scroll down until you see the WordPress option, and select Install Now. Once the importer is installed, select Run Importer, select Choose File, navigate to the .xml file you downloaded and click Open. Once you've done that, select Upload File and Import. You will need to assign the demo content to an author. We'll assign this to the admin user we created earlier for now. Check the Download and Import File attachment and hit Submit. This may take up to a minute or so to import all the demo content. You will see a message saying all done, have fun once it's imported successfully. If it times out or takes longer than 5 minutes, just start the process over again. You may receive notifications that certain content already exists, which is fine. It took us about 3 attempts and about 15 minutes for all the content to be imported. Once the content is all imported, we'll upload the widget content. To do this, hover over Tools in the admin menu. If you've installed the Widget Importer and Exporter plugin, you will see Widget Importer and Exporter as an option. Click on this option. Under the Import Widget section, select Choose File, navigate and select the file with the .wye extension and hit Open. Then select Import Widgets. Once all the components have imported successfully, we can move on. If we head back to our documentation, the next section goes through creating posts, pages, and products, as well as the steps for setting up the shop, which we've already covered, but are there for your reference. The next step goes through using the page builder, which we'll get onto shortly. Before we do that, if we go into all products under products in the admin menu, you'll see that we now have a bunch of products that cover all product types. If you go to the live demo example, the link to which will be in the description below, under the product menu item at the top, find the product types you want to use for your site, then search for them in the All Products tab, and you can use them as templates or guides as you create your products. Next, if you go to the All Pages tab under Pages in the admin menu, you'll see that there is a list of all pages from the demo. Go back to the demo site and choose the homepage layout you want to use for your store from the versions under the Home tab. Review the other pages on the demo as well to identify the pages you'll want to use in your site, as the pages, including the layouts, will now already be created for you in the All Pages tab. We'll go through editing pages in a moment, but first, once you've decided on the base homepage layout you want to use, you'll need to set this as the homepage for your store. To do this, hover over the Settings tab in the admin menu and select the Reading option. Select the Static Page option under Front Page Displays and set the front page to the specific homepage option you want to use from the drop-down list. Similarly, if you want to incorporate a blog into your online store, set the Post page to the blog page. Save your changes, and if you preview the homepage of your website, you'll see that the layout is there and ready for you to customize, which we'll cover in just a moment. Similarly to pages, the posts from the demo content will now be available in the Posts tab, which you can use as examples or guides to help you create your blog posts moving forward. Check out one of our blog tutorials for more information on creating and managing posts. Back to pages. To edit the homepage for your e-commerce website, or any page for that matter, go back to All Pages under Pages in the admin menu and select the page you want to edit. We'll edit these using the Elementor Page Builder. So if you haven't installed that plugin as yet, go back and do that now. When you're in the page you want to edit, click the Edit with Elementor button. This will take you to the front-end editor, where you can begin to customize the pages of your website. In the description below, there's a link to an Elementor tutorial, as well as a link to the Pro version that includes additional features and layouts. For what we need, the free version will be fine, but you may want to upgrade down the track. Let's take a quick look at editing the homepage to get familiar with how it all works. By clicking on an element or section, it shows you what it is in the left panel. Each element will be slightly different, but the WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get editor, is incredibly easy and intuitive to use. For example, to change the text, I simply click on the text, edit it, and save. To change the image, I click on the column settings, find where the image is, and replace the image by either uploading a new image or choosing one from the media gallery. Once I've picked the image I want to use, I can add an overlay if I want the text to stand out more, amend any of the variables I want to amend, and when I'm happy, hit save. The bulk of the design is done for you. For the most part, you'll be customizing, duplicating, or deleting what's there. To delete an element is easy. You just click on the X under the settings options. To duplicate elements or sections, hit the duplicate button. To save changes, hit the save button in the bottom left corner. If you want to save a section or row to the library to use on another page or in other sections, click the save icon for the specific thing you want to save, give it a name, and hit save. To use something from your library or the default layouts library, click the plus icon to add a new section, choose the add a template option, and either choose one of the pre-designed layouts or add the section you saved to your templates library by selecting insert. Have a play around with this and check out the links to the videos in the description below. It's fairly intuitive, and using the pre-made layouts for the theme gives us a massive head start. There is still a bit of a learning curve, and the only way to break through it is to get your hands dirty. We'll go through the theme customization settings first, and then I'll walk you through the parts that are a little more tricky, which are if you want to use an image or video slider, using WooCommerce shortcodes to display products or categories, and including a contact form or newsletter sign up. As these are all shortcodes, and I remember being new to this, were not overly intuitive to me when I was a beginner. Before we go through all the theme's demo content and begin amending products, pages, posts, and deleting the elements you don't want, let's take a look at how we create menus and amend the theme's global customization settings. Firstly, we'll look at menus. You can edit menus from within the theme customizer, which we'll go through in a moment. However, I prefer to use the dedicated menu section, which we can navigate to by hovering over Appearance in the admin menu and selecting Menus. The Menus page is broken down into two tabs: Edit Menus, which is where you manage the content within your menus, and manage locations, which is where you can assign a menu to a specific menu location. We'll mainly work within the Edit Menus tab, as we can pretty much do everything we need to do from within there. The first thing you'll notice is the option to select a menu to edit. In our case, we'll select Main Menu and hit Select. Here, you can toggle between the menus that have been created already when we imported the demo content. Depending on the theme you're working with, and if you haven't uploaded the demo content, you may need to create a new menu. To do this, click on Create a New Menu, give it a name, pick something that makes sense to you. Below that, you'll have your menu structure. You will first need to set a menu location for the newly created menu, which is down the bottom. This particular theme has two menu locations available: Main, which is the main navigation at the top, and Footer, which is the navigation at the bottom above the footer. If you created a new menu, you will need to add menu items from the available options on the left. To add pages to your menu, click the boxes next to the pages you want to add. The default options are the most recently created pages. You can also tab to view all pages or search for a specific page. You can do the same thing to add posts, custom links, which I'll cover in just a moment, categories, WooCommerce endpoints, plus if I open up the screen options panel at the top, allows me to add more options like products, tags, product categories, and product tags. It also gives me the ability to add CSS classes to individual menu items, as well as set the link target that allows me to open links in new tabs, which will become handy very soon. Back to custom links. These are good for outbound links like an external blog, partner page, or for a menu item that you want to use purely for organization and don't want to be clickable. To add a custom link, add the URL and the link text that you'd like to use. For example, I'll link to the Oakland blog and set the link text to LD blog. For this menu item, as I'm redirecting to another site, I don't want the user to leave my site to do it. So I'll open the menu item, and because we added the link target from the screen options panel above, I can now check the box to open the link in a new tab. I could also add a CSS class to give it unique styling. Let's look at another example for custom links. Say you want to create a top-level menu item called categories and list the product categories underneath, but I don't want categories to be clickable. To do that, you'll add a # as the link address and type in categories and save the link. You'll then add the product categories to the menu and drag them across to the right to sit underneath the custom categories link. This is how you set menu hierarchy. I can also change the order of the menu items by clicking and dragging them to where I want. If I save that and take a look from the front, the LD blog link opens in a new tab, and I have all the product categories listed as I wanted. To amend the footer menu, toggle to that menu in the option above, or create a new menu and set the display location to footer menu down the bottom. We'll now go through the global theme settings, which we can amend in the theme customizer. To navigate to the theme customizer, from your WordPress dashboard, hover over Appearance and click on Customize. This will take you into the theme customizer. Note that any changes you make to the settings below will be previewed live in the panel on the right-hand side of the screen. However, to commit these changes, you'll need to click the Save and Publish button at the top of the panel. Depending on the size of your screen, you will either see the desktop, normal or small, tablet or mobile view. I'm working on a 13-inch laptop, and the theme options panel is taking up a fair chunk of room. Therefore, I'm actually seeing the tablet view. In the bottom left corner, there is the option to hide the customizer panel, which in my case reveals the desktop view. To unhide the panel, I click the arrow in the bottom left corner. I can also switch between the different device views to explore the responsiveness of my theme and see how the design responds on mobile and tablet. Alternatively, if I go to the front end of the site, which I can do by exiting out of the customizer, and select Visit Site from under the site name option in the WordPress toolbar in the top left, I'll right click and open this in a new tab. You can see the desktop version. I'll keep this open so we can refer back to it as we commit changes. I'll head back to the theme customizer. We'll go through each of the customization settings. There's an overview for each option in the theme documentation, which you can follow along with as we go through. If you're using a different theme, follow along with the theme documentation, as the theme options will be different, but the approach should be the same. The first tab is the header options. Here is where you choose your header style, either the default with the menu centered like this, or you can opt to have your logo centered like this, which we'll set in just a moment. Below that is the option to have a sticky header, which means the navigation menu sticks to the top of the screen when you scroll down, like this. There is also the option to enable or disable my cart or login link in the nav, as well as the cart icon and search icon. Save any changes and head back to the main menu. Next is the menu tab. We've gone through how to create and manage menus in the dedicated menu section. However, you can also do that from here. The settings here should look familiar, but with less options. There's a link to a guide on how to edit the menus from within here within the documentation if you'd prefer to manage navigation from here. If you make changes, remember to save them. We then have site identity. Here is where you can upload your logo by hitting select logo, uploading it to the media library, and choosing select. You can then check the box to limit logo size for Retina displays, which is a good idea and will make sure your logo never looks pixelated. If you don't have a logo and just want to use a text logo, type in your brand to the site title name, and you can use that. There is the option to add a tagline for your website. To use the site title as your logo, you'll need to check the Show Site Title below the logo box. If you want your site tagline under your logo, check the Show the Tagline below the logo box. Under that, you can add additional padding or space to the top or bottom of your logo, and below that, you can set the site icon or favicon for your site. That's the little icon that appears in the user's browser tab when they're on your site. For YouTube, it's their play symbol part of the logo. For Oakland, it's the little square with the OH in it. Yours will need to be at least 512 pixels by 512 pixels. Save changes and head back to the customizer menu. Next is layout options. Firstly, we can choose between our full width or boxed global layout. Choose whether our blog and other pages, meaning 404 pages, etc., have a sidebar or not. And for our blog archive pages, we can set the excerpt length for our articles, which is the amount of words in the preview of a post on the main blog page and archive pages, like category pages, etc., as well as choose our pagination method. Save changes and head back. Next up is the post listing options. These options allow you to control the display of the categories and tag pages for posts. This doesn't include the product category or tag pages, as this is controlled within the WooCommerce settings, which we'll get to in a minute. For example, on the live site, if I go into the blog page and click on one of the post categories, it's referring to these pages. Here, I can choose to show a feature image or enable or disable the hero section altogether. I can then edit the hero text color, background color, and upload a hero image, as well as customize the positioning of the hero image. Next are the post options. These give you greater control over the display of individual posts. The options here are pretty self-explanatory, so decide which ones are best for you. We then have the WooCommerce settings. The first tab controls everything at the shop level and relates to the product category and listings pages. The options are similar to those that we covered under the post listings page before. However, towards the bottom, there are some additional options which include the shop page layout and allow you to set the sidebar to the left, to the right, or a full width option. The full width option shifts the shop widgets or filtering options to the offsite or fly-in style option. You can choose to display breadcrumbs, which is the navigation feature here on the live demo site. You can also enable the show second image on hover feature, which uses the first image of the product image gallery. And lastly, for the shop options, we can enable or disable catalog mode, which hides prices and the add to cart button. Under the product options, you can enable or disable product reviews, show upsells, show related products, and the social media sharing buttons on product pages. Next up is colors. Under the global color option, we can set a global background color or image, a body background color or image if we're using a boxed layout, as well as the image alignment and positioning attributes if we choose to use a background image. Play around with these if they're relevant to you. Below that, you can set your global text colors, accent colors, as well as border, button, background, and hover state colors. If you want to tinker with the design to suit your brand and brand colors, this is the place to do it. Under the header color tab, you can set a header color or an image for the top navigation bar, as well as the main header text color and sub-navigation text, background, and border color, as well as the sub-navigation hover and active text color. Under the footer color tab, you can amend the footer strip background color at the bottom and text color. Under the sidebar color tab, you can set the sidebar background color, text, link hover, border, and widget title colors. Up next, we have the typography options. Here you will find various options regarding the theme's typography. You can change heading, body text, and widget title sizes, and toggle the capitalization of various elements on or off. I think the default values look great, but if you want to amend the font sizes, etc., this is where you do it. Next, we have widgets. Widgets, like menus, have two places where we can amend them. And once again, I prefer to use the dedicated widgets area, which can be found from your WordPress dashboard by hovering over appearance and selecting widgets. We'll make our edits here rather than via the customizer, as it's easy to use and provides access to more options. On the left-hand side are all the available widgets. On the right-hand side are the available widget-enabled areas that widgets can be added to. As you can see, this theme currently features 9 widget areas: the blog sidebar, pages, homepage, footer columns 1, 2, 3, and 4, the footer Instagram widget area, and the shop widgets. The blog sidebar is the primary sidebar and appears on all posts and post archive pages that have a sidebar. If you've uploaded the demo content, you'll notice that there are a number of widgets already added to this widget area. Navigate to the blog page of your site and decide which widgets you want to keep and which ones you want to remove. To edit the widgets, click on the drop-down arrow, update the widget information, and click Save. Unlike the customizer, any changes that you make will automatically be live on your website. To change the order of the widgets, drag and drop them into place. To remove a widget, simply click Delete. And to add a new widget, drag the widget from the left and drop it into the widget area on the right. I would recommend going through each of the widgets and add them to your sidebar to explore what each widget does and decide on the ones that make the most sense for you. The shop widget is worth mentioning, as this impacts how users can filter products and is how you control what's displayed in the shop's sidebar widget. There are a number of WooCommerce specific widgets that can be added here. Once again, I'll refer you to the WooCommerce widgets documentation and video to explain what's possible here. The link to the documentation is in the description below or on the Oakland post. You can also add custom code to the widget areas using the text widget. This could include things like a newsletter sign-up form or a number of other features. I'll show you how to integrate a newsletter sign-up form a little later. Widgets can be used in a bunch of ways that add value and improve the user experience, so have a play around and see what you can come up with. Let's head back to the theme customizer. As I mentioned, you can amend widgets within the theme customizer, but you'll have less options and less real estate, which can make it a bit tricky. Up next is social networks. Here you can add the URLs to your various social network accounts that are supported by this theme. These will appear in any widget area where you use the theme social icons widget. You can check the box at the top to open social icons in a new tab, which I would recommend. Next is footer options. Here you can upload the credit card icons or something via a PNG image, similar to the one featured on the live demo site. It uses an image that's 330 pixels wide by 32 pixels high. You can check the box to limit image size for Retina displays. If you don't want to include the credit card icons, you can leave this section blank. Below that, you can enable or disable the footer reveal effects or the WP Instagram slideshow, as well as amend its transition speed. Next up is the static front page option. You can also amend this under the settings tab within the WordPress admin menu, under the reading tab, as we did before. However, if you want to amend the static front page and post page, you can also do it from here. Lastly is the other tab, where you can add custom CSS if you want to do it that way. Hopefully you should be relatively comfortable with the theme customizer now. The best way forward is to spend a bit of time here exploring your options, and you'll be a pro in no time. What I would recommend doing now is familiarizing yourself with the demo theme content and take inspiration from the layouts and what you can repurpose for your website. I typically create a number of new products, posts, and pages with my own content based on the examples in the demo content. Once I'm feeling comfortable with how to create and format products, posts, and pages, I then delete or change the status to draft for the demo posts, pages, and products. The value in keeping them in draft mode is that they won't be visible on your site, but they are there if you ever need to reference the layouts or how they were formatted. I would then go in and delete any tags or categories that you won't be using for both posts or products, and create new categories that work for you. Once you've done that, reassess your menus and widgets. Remember, if you get stuck with anything, you have access to premium support and the support forums on the CSS Igniter website, which are great. Also, if you find anything that we've covered confusing or would like more info or an additional tutorial, leave a comment and we'll get back to you. The last few things we'll cover off are using the video image slider, WooCommerce shortcodes to display products and categories, integrating a newsletter sign-up form. For this, we'll use MailChimp, and configuring contact form 7 to include a contact form on your site. Let's start with the image or video slider at the top. As you can see, this is leveraging a Max Slider shortcode. So we'll need to configure the slider under the Max Slider tab in the admin dashboard and copy the shortcode in here. So let's head over there. I'll hover over Max Slider in the admin menu and select Max Slider. With the demo content, there are 3 sliders that have been created. To find out which version is being used on the homepage demo I'm using, I need to find the slider with the shortcode ID equal to this number here. So I'll click on this one, scroll down to the bottom where the shortcode is, and yep, that number matches. So I can either edit this one or create a new slide and copy across the new shortcode. I'll just edit this one here. So to do that, it's quite straightforward. I just need to amend the details for each of the slides that have been created here. To change the image, I just click on the image and upload or select the image I want to use. If I want to use a video as my background, I'll need to upload the video to my media library, which isn't great as videos will drain the hosting resources. However, if you're using WP Engine or a premium hosting provider, this won't be an issue. And in any event, remember to keep the length and file size to a minimum. You can then amend the text, sizes, and alignment to suit your messaging and design. Update the links to the pages where you want the buttons to take users. I'll add an image to the second slide and delete the last slide by clicking on Remove Slide. Below that are the slide settings, where you can amend the transition speed between slides. This is in milliseconds, so 5,000 is 5 seconds. To change this to 6 seconds, you'd amend this to 6,000 milliseconds. You can also set the height of the slider, navigation style and positioning, as well as colors and image size. To commit the changes, I'll hit Update. If you've created a new slider, you'll just copy the shortcode at the bottom and paste it where you want it in a shortcode module. If I go to the front page of my site, I can now see my updated image slider. The next thing I want to tackle with you is the newsletter sign-up option. If you don't want to include one, you can just delete this section and move on to the next step. However, as it stands, it's currently using a contact form 7 shortcode, which will work, but we want to integrate this directly into MailChimp so you can send an autoresponder or at least add them directly to your mailing list. MailChimp is great because from there, using a tool like Zapier or IFTTT, you can send the email info anywhere, like to your CRM or whatever. You could also embed a form directly from another email marketing tool or software provider. You'll just need to know a little CSS to style it so that it looks consistent with the rest of your website. Check out our intro CSS course for WordPress at courses.oakland.com or sign up to our newsletter for a discount. All right, let's take a look at the module where the newspaper sign-up form is. You'll see that we have the title, which you know how to change. Below that is the shortcode module, which we're going to change to a HTML element. So we can grab the HTML embed code from within our MailChimp account and paste it in here. To do that, we'll delete the shortcode module by clicking on the X. From the Elements tab, we'll scroll down until we see the HTML option, then drag that across into the column underneath the heading. That opens up the area where we can paste our HTML snippet. If you have a MailChimp account, log into your account or create a new one. I won't go through setting up lists here. However, we'll put together a tutorial on this shortly. So check our videos or subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay in the loop on that. From within the embed form section, for the list you want to add the email addresses to, pick the super slim option. Uncheck the include form title box and copy the embed code at the bottom. Navigate back to the Elementor Page Builder and within the HTML snippet section, paste the code. The newsletter sign-up form should be in there, but it doesn't match the style of our theme. To fix this, I've added a code snippet on the Oakland post. Follow the link in the description if you're not on the post page already, and copy the code from here. Then navigate back to the page builder, scroll up to the top within the HTML code that you just pasted in, to the part here that says add your own MailChimp form styling, etc. Click at the start of that row and press enter to push everything down a line. arrow up to the blank line, and paste the CSS you copied from the Oakland post in here. You'll see that now matches the button styling above. Once you've done that, select Save. As I mentioned before, we could also incorporate a newsletter sign-up form into any of the widget areas. Let's navigate to the widget area under Appearance, Widgets. To add a newsletter sign-up using your MailChimp embed form, you would add a new text widget to the widget area. Copy in your MailChimp embed code. You'll need to add some custom CSS again. There are a few more lines required than what we just went through. You can access this on the Oakland website here and add it just above the add your own MailChimp form style, etc. part of the MailChimp embed code, like we did before. Save the changes and view the blog page from the front. We now have our MailChimp newsletter sign up integrated within our sidebar. Another thing that we need to take a look at together is the WooCommerce shortcodes. Once again, I'll refer you to the WooCommerce shortcodes documentation and video, the link to which is in the description below. As you can see on the demo homepage that I'm using, it's featuring sale products and the most recent arrivals for the women's category. If I go to the page builder, you'll see that this is being set via a WooCommerce shortcode. The sales section is using the sales products shortcode, which, if I navigate to the WooCommerce documentation, is this one here. You'll see that the arguments or options you can use are how many products are included per page, the number of columns, order by. Below is a list of all the values you can sort a product by, and the order either ascending or descending. You can specify any of these values for this particular shortcode. If we go back to the page builder, you'll see that this is using columns, which is set to 4. You could easily change this to 3 if you prefer. It's also set to show 8 products per page, which we could change to 6 or however many you want. It also includes some theme-specific options. If we go back to the theme documentation, at the bottom under the WooCommerce shortcode section, you can see there are 4 custom attributes that have been created specifically for this theme, which include title. This allows you to set a title for the content block, style, which toggles between 2 available layouts, list and carousel. If omitted, it will default to list. Show categories. This displays the product categories attached to a product. The values it accepts are yes or no. It defaults to yes if omitted. An example of which can be seen here, as the categories are displayed under the product image. To remove this, you would include the show category argument equal to no. And lastly, show price, which displays the product's price. The values it accepts are yes or no, and it defaults to yes if omitted. If we go back to our example, you can see it's using style equals carousel, which if we look on the live example, creates this carousel option here. The default option is used on version 2 of the homepage and looks like this. The other custom attribute included in the theme is title, which is set to on sale. You can amend this text here by setting the title to whatever title you want, and this will work for all WooCommerce shortcodes. If we have a look at the example below, you'll see that it's exactly the same process. It just uses a different shortcode and amends the attributes and values. Hopefully, the WooCommerce shortcodes don't look too daunting now. To create a new section using the WooCommerce shortcodes, you'll either add a new section, select the full width option, add your shortcode module, and paste in the shortcode you want to use with the required changes. Or duplicate an existing section, drag it into place, and update the shortcode. The last thing I'll show you is how to add a contact form to your website using Contact Form 7, if that's something you want to do. If not, then go ahead and further customize your website to suit your style. If you've liked this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel and newsletter for more free tutorials, discounts, and updates. Leave us a comment with what you liked, any feedback, and what else you'd like to see. To add a contact form, you should have installed Contact Form 7. If you haven't done that already, go back and do that first. From your WordPress dashboard, you should see a new option in the admin menu called Contact. Click on Contact Forms. The great thing with Contact Form 7 is they pre-create a form for you. In this case, if you've uploaded the demo content, there will be 3. To check which one is used on the demo contact page, go to Pages, All Pages, click on the contact page, and review the ID number in the shortcode. If we go back, we know that it's using this one here. If you're not using the demo content, you'll just need to copy the shortcode for the contact form you want to use, which we'll edit in a moment. The shortcode can be found here. Navigate to the page that you want the contact form to go on, go to the text editor tab, and paste in the shortcode where you want the form to go. If we preview the contact page, you'll see that our form is in there and ready to go. We now just need to go back to the contact forms tab under the contact option and customize the form fields. We'll click into the form. The first tab is how we control our form input fields. The default fields are your name, your email, subject, and your message. The first step is to decide which fields you want to include in your form and which fields are required. For this example, I want to request their name as a required field, email as a required field, phone not as a required field, and interested in dropdown as a required field with the options advertising, contributing, and other, plus a message box as a required field and the send button. If you look at the default form fields, you see that each input field has its own piece of code. This is the name field, this is the email field, etc. The first choice you have is whether you want the form input labels to be above the input field, like it is in the default here, or if you want to use a placeholder that sits within the input field itself. To change it to the placeholder option, we remove the label tags that are wrapping the field, as well as the label text. Instead, what we do is click into the field shortcode here, hit space, enter placeholder, space, inverted comma, then enter the placeholder text you want. So in this case, name, and then close the inverted comma. I'll save this and refresh the page on the front end, and you'll see the name is now sitting as a placeholder within the name input field. We'll go back to the contact form editor. If you prefer that look, do the same thing for the other form fields. I prefer it the original way, so I'll change it back but remove the word your. The next thing we need to do is customize the fields we want to include. We want to keep the name and email fields as required fields. To make a field required, you just need to include the asterisk next to the field type here. I then want phone, which isn't a required field. To add a form field, I put my cursor where I want it and select the option from the tags in the menu above. The tag I want is tell. I can choose to make this field required or not. In this case, I don't want to make it required, so I leave the box unchecked. If you wanted to add a placeholder, you would enter the placeholder here and check the use this text as the placeholder box. In this case, I'll leave this blank and hit insert tag. This creates our shortcode field. We just need to wrap it in a label tag. We put our opening label tag here and our closing label tag here. Remember to include the / in the closing tag. And then we'll add the label name we want to use. In this case, we'll use phone. Let's save that and refresh our contact page. You'll see that we have a new phone field, which isn't a required field. If you wanted to make it required, you would just need to add an asterisk next to the field type, which is tell. So we add that in, hit save, and refresh the contact page, and it's now a required field. If we wanted to keep it that way, we would add the word required within the label to provide a better user experience, but we won't do that. I'll head back and remove the asterisk. We'll then add the drop-down box. To do this, we place the cursor where we want it, select the drop-down menu tag from the options above. We want to make this required, so we'll check the required box, give it a name of interested in. In the options box, I'll enter the options for the drop-down list, one per line, so advertising, contributing, and other. You can decide if you want to allow multiple selections or if you want to insert a blank item as the first option. I'll enter a blank item, but won't allow multiple options and select insert tag. Once again, I'll wrap it in a label tag. We put our opening label tag here and our closing label tag here. Remember to include the / in the closing tag. And then we'll add the label name we want to use. In this case, we'll use interested in ... in brackets required. I'll then delete the subject field as I don't need it and add an asterisk and the word required to the message box. Once I've done that, I'll hit save and refresh my contact form. That all looks good. The only thing is that the styling for the dropdown doesn't look great. I've passed this on to the CSS Igniter team, and I'm sure this will be updated as it's an easy fix. To style the field the way we want it though, all we need to do is copy the styling from the field above and add it to the custom CSS section in the theme customizer. To do this, if you're in Chrome, right-click on the form field above and select Inspect. Where you see input, text area, select the CSS below that. To check that this will work, right-click on the drop-down list and select Inspect. Make sure you have the select name equals interested in selected. And in the right panel at the top, paste the code you just copied. If you've followed along, that should look consistent now. What we need to do is commit those changes. So to do that, navigate to Appearances and open the customizer in a new tab. Scroll to the bottom and select Other. In the custom CSS panel, we'll type select, which is the CSS selector, and then an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket. We'll then create space between the two and then paste in the code we just copied. Hit save and publish, and then refresh the contact page. Those changes should now be committed, and that looks good. Obviously, if you don't want to use the drop-down list or it's been updated by the time you view this, then you don't need to worry about that. This is the value though in knowing a little CSS, particularly when you're managing your own WordPress website. If you want to learn CSS specifically for WordPress, head to courses.oakland.com and check out one of our intro courses or pre-register for a discount. Once we've customized our form input fields, we then need to amend what gets received via email once someone submits the form. If you click into the Mail tab, you can set the email where the contact form is submitted to. The form email pulls the name from the contact form. You can leave your email, put a generic email like inquiry@yourdomain.com, or use the custom your-email field from the previous page to pull in the email from the contact form. You can tailor the subject line to be something like website inquiry or something that makes sense to you. Additional headers, you can leave this as is. And in the message body, you want to include the label or placeholder and the dynamic form field so that this information gets sent to your email. So in our case, we'll delete subject and add phone. The dynamic fields are listed above, and interested in. We can leave the message tab and additional settings as is. Let's hit save. We'll refresh the contact page, complete the form, and hit submit. That's all working well. Remember to check the designated recipient email address to confirm the information is coming through as expected. And that wraps up our how to create an e-commerce website for 2017 and 2018. Hopefully you've got a lot from our WordPress WooCommerce tutorial and feel confident to put together an awesome online store using WordPress and WooCommerce. Remember that you've got premium support with CSS Igniter, as well as access to their support forums. Similarly, you also get access to support with Bluehost and premium support included with WP Engine if you need one-on-one help. Also, feel free to leave comments if you have questions about anything we covered or any feedback you'd like to share. If you like this video, hit the like button and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos related to e-commerce, blogging, digital marketing, and how to run a successful website. To get access to exclusive discounts, free tutorials, and to stay in the loop on the latest happenings, sign up for our newsletter at ohklyn.com. And until next time, happy building.